Welcome to Primo Trailer Sales, guys. This is the first of our exterior walkthrough videos. We're going to head inside here. This is Sean, who's one of our head technicians, and we're going to start with the LP gas system here for you guys.
Hi, good morning, guys. We're going to keep this relatively simple for you, and we're going to be straight to the point with what we're trying to get across. Starting up front with our propane tanks, this is a dual setup with an auto switchover regulator. Just to point out at the very beginning here, currently you can see that this little indicator is showing it as red. Once we pressurize the system, you can see that that's going to change over to green. Green is indicating right now that our selector is pointing at this tank, that our main tank does have pressure, and that's the one that the regulator is going to be drawing from. When this unit does drop in pressure, this is going to change from green to red, indicating that we're now drawing from the reserve tank. Our next stage is going to be to go inside and actually bleed the system down, because there's going to be air in the system between the tanks and the first appliance. We usually do so by lighting the stovetop first.
Alright, sounds good. We're going to head inside now, guys. So this is a Apex Nano, but all the stoves themselves, whether it's a 2-burner, 3-burner, they are going to bleed the same. So just for your basic information there, your stove may look a little different, but the systems are going to operate very similar.
So what we're going to do is we're going to turn the stove to the on position. We're going to hear a flow of air, and it's going to be air mixed with gas. Now typically I like to use my barbecue lighter. The stove has lit the first time through, and if you watch, we will see some air come through. Once the system is bled through, we'll be able to proceed and light the rest of our appliances. So what we've done is we've gotten rid of the air from the propane tanks to our very first appliance. Now as we proceed to our other appliances, they should light relatively quick. Most of them are going to cycle through. Looking up front here, we've got a very basic mechanical thermostat. We have an on-off switch just at the top here. Once we turn that to the on position, it's very tight. We've got a temperature control switch across the base here. Put it all the way up, calling for heat. The fan's going to come on first, circulate the air as part of a pre-purge cycle. Then if we're quiet enough, we would hear the electronic ignition where the furnace itself is going to ignite.
This particular unit has a central furnace. A lot of the units that you may have a ducted furnace, so just basically surrounding the unit, sometimes in the floor in a Catalina, but all the same idea. So you're going to hear the same kind of surge as it lights.
Now we do have several different models of fridges out there. This is kind of a very standard one. Across the top here we've got a couple different features. We've got an on-off button, and then we've got a switch here that says gas. In the on position, we have two options here. We've got auto, or we can manually select it to be on propane. In the auto mode, what's going to happen is it's going to select electricity first. Propane is going to be our backup supply. So if we lost 110 power for any reason at all, this fridge would automatically switch over to propane and self-ignite. If it fails after its first couple of processes, the check light comes on indicating that there is an error in the system. To reset that, we simply turn the fridge off, turn it back on, and it'll go through the process again of trying to ignite. Now, water heater. Water heater on this unit is a Dometic. It is two heat sources on this particular unit. We have 110 electric as well as propane. The electric switch is just as simple as flipping the switch on. The unit's going to heat on electricity provided that we are plugged in. Looking at the propane side of things, when we first turn the switch on, what we're doing now is we're calling for power. This little red light should come on. Okay.
Dramatic pause.
The red light typically comes on indicating that there's power. It goes out. What happens then is it goes into a self-ignition process. Once it's lit, that light will remain off. That light becomes an error light in the future once the system is up and running.
I was just going to point out, Sean mentioned the thermostat here on the wall. So this particular unit is more of a manual design. Now many of the Coachman units now will have a digital thermostat, so yours may look slightly different, but it'll be very simple. You're going to just cycle through some modes. So just for reference, again, this is a little bit more basic in terms of the thermostat, but very similar idea.